we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome
Hello, hello.
to our a bonus session, I suppose, because we did say it was a 5-day challenge, and now here we are on day 6. Um, and I just want to make sure we're good in the Facebook group. I don't know if you have it up, but there we go. We're good to go. Mute that. Perfect. Awesome. How you guys doing? Well, let some people kind of come on. I didn't get a chance to even check Facebook before we came on, so I'm not sure if there's questions about it, but we're excited to be here. We've had a great week talking about some all different kinds of things related to business. And I wanted to share with you guys something that I was doing. I was filling out this thing for church, and there was this assessment that was part of it. And at the top, there was a video, and I was, I don't know the data, where this data came from, but it was interesting to me. I'd be curious to hear your thoughts, Delia. What they said was that 80%, anybody can do 80% of the things, whatever there is to do in life, 80% of the people can do them. Okay. 15%, anybody can be trained to do those things. Okay. So anybody can do 80% of the things, whatever that is. And, anybody can be trained to do 15% of the things, but only you can do 5%. And I just thought that was a very interesting way to break things up. And that means that, only you, if you want to get healthier, only you can do that. Nobody can do that for you, right? There's things that only you can do. And those things are really valuable. They're not just to help ourselves. They're ways that there are stories. There are our own personal experiences. There are our tastes and interests, our skill sets, and not just, like Delia and I might have similar skill sets or a skill set that's similar, but the way that we apply those are totally different because we're different people. And that's part of that 5%. And I just thought that was a very interesting thing. And went on to talk about how we need to really be discovering and developing that 5%. We need to figure out what is it that's just me. The other stuff, can you imagine getting a group of people together that are they all know what their 5% is, what they bring to the table? It's unique to them. I just think about what some of the things we're going to talk about today and how incredibly valuable a team would be when you find people who are working in their strengths and working in the things that they uniquely bring, and maybe outsourcing the 80% that anybody can do, and even outsourcing the 15% that trained people can do, so that everybody's just working within their own wheelhouse. I just think that what a strong team that would be. And I think a lot of that thought process actually is what has inspired us to what we're going to share with you guys today. But have you ever heard stats like that, Delia?
Not those specific stats, but yes, I've heard this idea that each one of us is capable of doing something that no one else is capable of doing, or there's a small percentage of things that we do in a unique way, no matter what. And I was actually reading about the content strategy for some of these like really famous people, Tony Robbins, Gary V, all of these different people, and they all have their flavor.
Right.
And one of the guys who was like analyzing and evaluating, comparing them, he was saying, look, they're all doing something, but they put their spin on it. And it's about, in essentials, it's very much the same. But really at the end of the day is they put their own spin on it. And that's what makes each business unique.
And that connects with people differently, which is it's just wonderful.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, because I was listening to a podcast about 7 questions, primal questions that guide our decision-making in this. I don't remember the book. I would have to look it up. But each person in relationships and business is guided by a primal question. Am I safe? Was the first one. Am I secure? Am I successful? Am I loved? Am I wanted? Am I... do I have purpose, or something like that? Then there was another one that I don't remember. And the author was saying that he has studied thousands and thousands of interactions and people to summarize interactions in view of these different, like, 7 questions. And the point was that when we serve people, we tend to serve from our primal question. Like, if we need to
Mhm.
feel safe, we sell in a way that makes people safe.
Right.
If we
Interesting.
need to be feel loved, we those people tend to be very uh, open. Like,
Mhm.
they create an environment where people feel loved and accepted.
Mhm.
So it's really interesting how it works out. But for today, I wanted, before we share the ideas or the offer we came up with, to, I believe, help everyone who is willing to take us on that offer. I was going to share just one principle that's going to apply to you, whether you are connected, you take us on the offer or not. Any business, right, has at least 3 pillars, and you have the product or the service. Whether you have a business that sells stuff or services
Mhm.
people, you have a product and a service. Then you have the selling part, and that can be divided into marketing, right, and the actual selling. And then you have the fulfillment. And I might have mentioned this before, right? But if I have to do all these different things and I'm not good at 1 or 2 of them, it's going to make it a lot harder to go from um, point A to point B, where I make the money, right? And I use
Mhm.
the bridge analogy a lot, because we're building something like a bridge, right? To go from point A, where we are, to point B, where we make the money. And if I struggle with one of these 3 things, I might just actually stop midway, rather than, I might not ever get to point B. And people do that a lot, right? They start building, and they never finish their bridge. It's because sometimes they struggle with parts of the business.
Mhm.
And all of us are better at one rather than the other. And it's okay to struggle. And I believe a lot of us entrepreneurs find ways to make it work. But
Yeah.
when I was doing a digital marketing agency, I was handling both the selling and the fulfillment, and it was really painful, and it made it really hard to make the money I wanted. And I ended up just closing that down and not doing it because it was too much. And I didn't really, at that point, I wasn't really looking to partner with people. I didn't know how to find the right partner, so I didn't do it.
Mhm.
But this is why we were thinking about, rather than sell people information on how to do it, and which is good. Like, both of us have spent tons of money on information, because I think it's smart to invest in yourself. It's smart to
Mhm.
learn, even if you invest money into something and you realize that's not something I want to do. That's what happened with me with copywriting. I invested a significant amount to be mentored by a 7-figure copywriter. And I learned a lot from him. But guess what? After about 3 months of going through the mentorship, I realized I don't want to build my business around copywriting. I'm not that great at writing. I mean, I'm okay, and I can incorporate all of those insights into every business I have, but I'm not that great at it. So I chose not to. And I thought it was money well spent, because I got a relationship because of the confidence I got in my ability to write copy, even though I was not great. I gained a lot of confidence because I had this mentor review some of my copy, and he gave me
Mhm.
some feedback. And then I went to a client and I made a proposal. I got a contract, and then that contract actually paid me for a little while, and I made my money back. So it wasn't wasted money. But all the insights I learned, I still use to this
Yeah.
day. However, it taught me not to do it. So there are a lot different aspects, right, to building a business. Some of us, I'm gonna share the Google Doc right now. So I think I have to stop sharing and share again.
Oh.
Okay. So then we were thinking, what if we actually build something together with a handful of people? And we'll share this with you. But the idea is to work together with a handful of people and build this. I called it the Dynamic Wealth Collective because I thought it sounds really cool, right? We collectively build wealth. We crowdsource the effort so that we
Mhm.
get quicker results, and it's risk free because when you have a lot of people who put their heads together to do something, um, it almost guarantees success if the people are committed, right? That's the big thing. If people are committed, we don't want people to struggle financially or to struggle until they achieve financial stability. We want to really be able to maximize earning potential for us and other people. So we'll share with you this document. But how does this work? It's going to be a beta group because we haven't done this with people we don't know. Like I have
Right.
um,
Mhm.
collectively built stuff with other people I knew pretty well that I
Mhm.
met, became friends. But this is a bit different, right? Because
Mhm.
we might know you a little bit from the group or from other business groups. We want to collectively work on something, and we have 3 tracks. Um, in I mentioned here that we mentioned here the 3 tracks that we can go on, but this is the goal. People who say yes are going to answer some questions so that we identify what assets do we have,
Mhm.
what type of relationships, what type of businesses, what type of assets do we have. Okay, and then once we identify that, it might take us 2 3 weeks, right? And then there's 4th of July weekend, so it might take 2 or 3 weeks. As we identify all the things we have, then we decide what income stream to build based on our collective assets. Okay, so that's the goal, right? To make it, because I already know I have 3 to 5 ideas that I know will have the potential to make 6 figures. Can I guarantee that we will make 6 figures? No. For legal purposes, I cannot guarantee
Right.
it because the people have to do the work. Like we will split
Yeah.
the work. Remember the product, the fulfillment, the selling? We will split the work, and Jenny and I will direct, right, the ship. Um, and we are going to make it to point B where we're making money if all of us are doing the parts that we need to do. And what we ask people to do is to commit 5 hours, 5 to 6, 7 hours per week for the first 90 days. It's going to be more intense. Once we start in July, it's going to be intense for 90 days.
Mhm.
And we have different blueprints we have used already. It's not like we waking up and dreaming about this idea. You know what? I've never built a 6 figure income stream. Let me see if I can make other people pay me to help them build a 6 figure income stream. We've done it with different things, so we are building the blueprint based on the collective assets we have. We're going to do that work and give the direction on how to make it happen. So the saying goes, give a man a fish, you feed him
Yeah.
for a day, teach a man a fish, and you feed him for a lifetime. So we work together to build something that's going to pay us all, like so a percentage. Again, for legal purposes, to keep it really simple this first time because it's a beta test, we are going to own the asset. And the more work you put into it, and the more responsibility and ownership you take of the project, the
Mhm.
more you can make. So we're going to put aside a percentage of the profits, and then as people do more work to help us grow this asset, they get more a higher percentage.
Mhm.
Now, again, there's so many unanswered questions. Well, how is this gonna work? Um, there's we are still making some of those decisions. We are keeping these questions as open questions because it depends on who's in the group, what type of assets you have, and there's so many different things that we
Right.
have to answer together. And I want you guys to be part of that decision making,
Yeah.
not because I cannot make the decision, because I want you to learn how to make the decision.
Mhm.
Again, teach you how to fish, not just give you the fish, right? I can make the decision, Jenny can make the decision, but how will that help you? I want us together to start thinking through, brainstorming on ideas, and come up with solutions.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, it's going to make you a better entrepreneur, a better business owner. So some of the 3 tracks we have: build a service business. Okay, that's one. I already have a couple of service-based business ideas that I know can easily generate a few $1,000s per month in profit within probably 6 weeks from starting. Build a unique print-on-demand product. I have an idea for an AI-based
Mm-hmm.
custom print-on-demand product that I believe could do 7 figures if we do it right, if we implement things right. And I'm willing to put this idea that I've been working on for a little while into the group and do it with you guys. Or we can just do a content-based business, which is pretty easy
Mm-hmm.
for us to do. And again, we'll be part of the process, direct you. It's not on you to figure all these things. We can even throw in the sublimation book that I started writing, right? There's so many different ideas I'm working on. We can bring one of those ideas, so I can bring in some of the relationships, right? Jenny has relationships and contacts and knowledge. We're bringing those things, putting them, leveraging them for the benefit of the group. So this is the big reason we're doing it. We don't want people just to buy another info product that's going to collect dust. We want you to have actionable insights, clear instructions, and build something that's going to work. And the last thing I'm going to mention, because you can read this on your own, we mentioned it a couple of times already this week. If you have 40 hours to work on an income stream, will you be able to get to your end goal quicker rather than working 5 hours a week? Now, because we collectively put 5 hours each right into the income stream, we actually accumulate about 40 hours of work per week per income stream. And the end result is that we get to the end goal. Now, imagine a giant taking steps, right, to make it to whatever destination. And then imagine a dwarf, 3-foot dwarf, walking as fast as the dwarf can. The dwarf is going to take a lot longer just because he doesn't have long legs, right? The giant can make it faster. So you can put the best person in a car, or the worst driver in a car, and then you have some other person taking a tricycle or a bicycle.
Right.
The car driver is going to make it to the end goal quicker, no matter how bad of a driver that person is compared to the bicycle person, right? The vehicle you use and the time you put into it is going to impact the end goal and the what you're going to make. So think about it in from that perspective. Who is this for? Action takers. Like if
Mm-hmm.
you don't plan on taking action, not worth getting involved. We are going to make the hard decision and ask people to leave if you are just there and you're not taking action, which sounds really harsh. But I have my own story. There was a point where I lost a big amount of money in business, and I was like struggling, trying to figure out how I'm gonna make it. And I remember thinking at one point, man, I have all these friends who have so much money. If only they could give me like 50K or 20K and put it to, if they put this money or a specific amount of money into this project I'm thinking about starting to recover all that I lost, I could get to my end goal so much quicker. But then I realized that I have to show them that if I'm asking them to do something, I have to show them that I'm an action taker. I cannot
Mm-hmm.
expect them to bail me out because it wasn't their fault. I lost money, right? It was my decision, and I was okay with that. Um, I cannot expect other people to do it for me, and I had to have a really hard conversation with myself, and make myself. Sometimes we have to preach to ourselves and talk to ourselves. because there are a lot of negative thoughts that come to mind. So we have to do that to ourselves. And I had to, speak into my own life and realize I have to show these
Yeah.
people, if I want them to invest in me, I have to show them that I'm willing to work hard. I'm willing, and I'm going to take action, and they will not regret investing in the idea I had.
Mhm.
So that's why it might sound harsh that we are going to kick people out if they're not action takers, but we have to do it because everyone else is going to pay if not. Now, I
Yeah.
understand life happens, right?
Yeah.
Let's say something happens and you can't work for a couple weeks on your part. That's fine. That's where the team comes in and we jump
Right.
in and we help. So I'm not talking about life happening and you having to
Right.
pull back. I'm talking about people just joining for the sake of, I don't know, joining. I don't know why we tend to do that
Yeah.
as people.
Well, and even having the best intentions, but maybe you're still stuck in this and not able to take those steps forward. And we can help. I'm hoping that this week, guys, you have seen we've shared some amazing examples of our own lives, our own businesses that we've built. We've talked, there's been a lot of gold just thrown out here for you guys that you could take and run with. I'm hoping that you can hear our hearts in wanting to we want to see people succeed. We want to help people. I've heard stories. Lots of you guys have emailed me and shared your hearts of where you're struggling and trying to get over these humps. We want to help you move forward. That's the whole point. And I think what got me so excited about this is we were brainstorming through how can we, there's people in this group. How can we help them? How can we serve them well? And honestly, we're not serving you well if it's not helping you take action. And so that's really the reason for it. It's not to be mean I don't think there's a mean bone in Delia's body. My kids probably tell me there's a few mean bones in my body, but we're not doing it for that. We're doing this to motivate and to get commitment, but it really depends on, it's more a choice, and an attitude of being willing to take action and stepping in to serve the team. And trust gets built that way. So then when you have to step away, everybody knows, oh, it's not a big deal because we know when they come back, if there's a little bit more that needs to, happen, they're going to step up because they've built trust. We want to build that kind of a team. And that's really the only reason. And unfortunately, this stuff, it just, it has to be said just so that the expectation is set right up from the get-go and there's no surprises.
Exactly. Yeah. So the goal is to be together for 12 months. The intense work comes in the first 3 months, because remember the driving analogy, when you started learning how to drive, the first few weeks, the first few months were the most uncomfortable, the hardest. So that's why the first 3 months we expect those 3 months to be much harder, more intense, meeting weekly. And then after the 3 months, the expectation is that we don't have to meet weekly, bi-weekly, bi-monthly. And this is how we're trying to do it. We want to take all the profits from the first 90 days. And again, it depends on whether we are putting the work in and we get any profits by day 90. But I think we can get profits, right, in the first 90 days. Take those profits and then start hiring people so that we work less. And then you move from dealing with the fundamentals to become a strategist. And then we go over some of the ways, right, to improve and increase revenue and profit in a business. We'll do different things based on the business model we're choosing. So we work for a couple months on those things. But at this point, we start to think as business owners, not as workers or employees. And that's the goal. And after that, after those next 2 months, for the rest of the year of being together, we're going to work more on building the right partnerships and bolting on offers, and then scaling using the data we have access to in the business. Looking at ways to turn expenses into profit centers, which is my favorite thing to do. And I seek to do it in every business I own. So we have a plan, right? It's yeah, we're holding things with an open hand, in an open
Right.
hand, but we have a plan. It's not
Mhm.
like we're just waking up
Mhm.
Monday and coming up with something. We kind of have a plan of how this is going to play out. Um, so you focus on the fundamentals. It's more intense the first 3 months, and then we don't expect you to be involved in the business. The goal is to replace ourselves, for you to replace yourself after the 3 months. And if you're on vacation, you have to take 2 weeks off. Totally understandable. We just work around it, right?
Yeah.
Again, that's what a business owner does. We have to know how to work around those
Right.
types of issues. How can I replace myself in the business? We can figure those things out. And we want to help you figure it for
Yep.
yourself.
Mhm.
We'll do small group like team meetings where we focus on the strategy and the
Mhm.
blueprint. We would love to meet in person with
Mhm.
everyone at least one time this year, but that depends on how the team responds.
Mhm.
So that would be included. We have a lot of different tools and resources we want
Mhm.
to share with you. But again, if I just dump resources on you and they're not helping you make more money, what's the point?
Right.
Um, and then I have a section here. I personally started writing this, and then Jenny added some stuff to it. Um, the reason we're charging for this is because when we invest money in something, we pay attention,
Mhm.
and I want to almost persuade you, compel you to pay attention and be involved and be committed. And we're doing that. Now we know, and you can see the price here. What we're thinking about is $397 for 12 months. We think it's a no-brainer, right, to charge someone $25,000 to gain the skills to make things happen. But you're not just gonna gain the skills; you are actually going to have a percentage in an income
Right.
stream if all of us are doing our part. And I'm convinced that even if someone has to pull back and is not able to do their part, again, we
Yeah.
will find ways to replace, right, to give them an opportunity to replace their hours that they need to put in the business. Um, but we'll work together, and we will be able to build a six-figure income stream. Now, the
Mhm.
profit, right, in that six-figure income stream, six-figure it could be 100,000, which is super easy to get to in a
Mhm.
year, or 500,000 or a million. I would love to get to something closer to 500,000 and then sell that business so that you go through that whole process, go from idea to building it to then selling it. It depends on a few factors. 397 per month for 12 months. And you have, oh, I forgot to say the application. We are not accepting people unless you go through this very, very short application. It just asks you, are you willing to do these hours per week? Are you willing to
Yeah.
follow the blueprint? Do you understand that we are not guaranteeing the income? If we work together, this is very, very possible, but I cannot guarantee that we'll make the money. And you have to guarantee to this amount. So yeah, that's
Yep.
the option. And we had this option if people are not ready to get involved, but they want to watch the behind the scenes, they want to see how we're doing it, they want to get access to some of the SOPs we build. We want to give people the option of paying 67 per month for a year. It's like an installment plan,
Mhm.
and that allows you to see behind the scenes. Maybe you're not ready to build with us, but you want to see how this is done because maybe in 6 months you're able to
Mhm.
put the time yourself into building your own income stream. That's an option. We don't have a link yet for it. If you want it, just email,
Yep.
message one of us, and we'll let you know. But that's about it.
Yeah. I just wanted to say too, and we, like Delia said, we can't guarantee what the business will do. We can pull from our own experience, and I mean, even without a team, we could build something together.
Right.
So we're not really concerned about that. It's just that we can't make that promise. But at the same time, that's the whole goal, is for us to get have a team, for us to build a business together and profit share in that, so that you get that money back that you've invested and some. So it's not just, I mean, like I said, we can't promise that, but that is our goal that we want to work towards. We want you guys to experience something different. And that's what gets me so excited about this, is that this isn't your, we're going to tell you what to do. You can ask questions. We'll give you suggestions, and then you're on your own to implement it. You know, this is, let's build something together. And that is just, I love it. I love it. Business is relationship. And so, I mean, how much more relationshipy does it get? You know, let's get together and build a good team that will get results. And we are, both of us really embrace the pivot. We've learned we need to pivot at times. And like I said, this is the goal, and we will do what it takes to get there. We're both committed to that, and would love to have you guys along for the ride and work together with you guys to build something. So do you want to share that link in the chat?
I'll put it in the Facebook group. I was going to add, a lot of times people get excited at the beginning of a journey, right? Or at the end, when someone opens a business, when someone starts something, right? There's that excitement, and there are a lot more people, right? Kind of acknowledging, oh, this is a new beginning. And a lot of people forget the middle. The middle part is the painful part, right? So let's run the middle together. That's the idea behind it. It's easy to get excited about ideas. I mean, I'm getting excited about this idea because I think this can work so well. And I know the value of it, right? I know that we can sell it for 5x in 6 months if we want to, but I don't know if we'll do it. Depends on how much time it takes from us. It might take a lot more time than we realize. So I know what's the possibilities and what's possible with this idea. I think the best thing about it, though, is the fact that we're running the middle together. That's where people, thinking of that bridge I was building on my tablet, a lot of people stop in the middle. They never make it to the end when they start making money, or they make very little in that middle section. We want to remove that issue and make that a non-issue for the people who are willing to work with us and do this with us. Yeah, it's not going to be easy all the time. There will be weeks when we keep trying things, and it's not going to work, and we might get frustrated, but we'll continue to try new things. We'll do new experiments, run new tests. Yeah, we are going to work together on those things. That's where, right, having like 5 to 7 people working together on something completely changes the results. So that's why we have to do an application. So we want to make sure we have people who are committed to putting the work. And again, if you have vacation and all that in the next 3 months, that's fine. We'll work through it. I don't want that to be the reason you're not committing, because that's a small thing that we can work through. Okay, so I'm going to share this.
Do you want to answer that? It's a 90-day commitment, however, a 12-month payment plan. It's a 12-month program.
Correct. So the 90 days, the first 3 months are more intense. And we expect people to commit 5 to 7 hours per week for the first 90 days. After the 90 days, what we want to do is take the profit from the business and actually put it hiring people. So we start to replace ourselves, replace you. So you don't have to do the work. All you have to do is just review what a VA does. That's where it becomes really cool, really exciting. So it's a 12-month program. That's why we understand that not everyone is able to pay, right, $5,000, whatever that is. So to make it a lot easier, we wanted to give people the monthly option. That way we start building together, and then you start making money off of the income stream, and then that allows you to be able to pay for it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I also wanted to say, some of you, I don't know, maybe some of you guys are frustrated because we don't have all the little details buttoned down. But one of the things we've also been pretty transparent about this last week is we've learned there's incredible value in building while you're earning while you're learning, or building while you're flying the plane. Learn to build the plane while you're flying the plane. There's a lot of value there because you can pivot a lot faster, and I think you can build things and get results a lot faster as well. And so we're actually being quite intentional. There's been a couple of times I'm like, well, Delia, should we wait? Should we get this figured out, these pieces buttoned down, and figure this out before we start talking about this? And we have waited a little bit, but we have been really intentional to, you know what? Nope, it's time now. Let's exemplify what we've been teaching. We have enough of a plan. We know that we can move forward. We can do this. Let's get a team built so that we can do this faster and have a bigger impact. And those are all the benefits of building the plane while you're learning to fly it. And we have the experience of doing this. We've done this with a few planes before, so not real planes, but
and we're still here to tell the story,
and laughing about it, and smiling, and wanting to help others do it. So, what happens after 12 months?
Yeah, so the business is going to continue running, and your percentage that you earn by being part of this, you will continue to make that percentage, right? The goal is by month 12, none of us have to be in the business. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. It's an income stream that should become somewhat passive to us.
Yeah.
Now, I would assume that at least one or two people out of the group is better at managing operations, and that person will want to continue managing the business because they see the benefit. Whoever does that job will continue to be paid for it. Like at that point, we should have enough income in the business where we pay a salary or an agreed amount to the person who is managing the operations. But we want to build it to such an extent, or in such a way that no one has to work in it, and whatever income stream or whatever money we make through it, it just gets deposited in our accounts based on whatever the CPA tells me we have to do. I don't know. Those details have to be figured out with the legal people and the financial people. You will continue to make money off of it, right? As long as this income stream runs, you will continue to make money off of it based on the percentage you earn by working. It's kind of like sweat equity. That's the best way to describe it, right? Instead of doing this, Jenny and myself, doing this ourselves, and we could hire some people, some VAs, and just build some of these things together, right? We're doing it with you so that you learn, because I know that if I make you $50,000 to $100,000 a year this year, in the next 12 months, you are going to continue wanting to work with me. And that means I'm going to make money too, right? And I'm always looking for people who are committed, who are serious, who are willing to try things, who have the same values I do. It's not that easy to find those types of people. After doing this for so long, I know that's the best the best thing that comes out of it. And then I'm also building an income stream that gives me like 5 or 10 or 15%, depends on what percentage we end up having, right? So let's say it's 10%, and this revenue stream is generating $150,000 in revenue. Not a like crazy number, totally doable, right? I've done that many times. So let's just say it's 150,000 in revenue. That means it's about 25 to 30% in profit if it's a service-based or physical product business. If it's an info business, you can expect 50 to 75% profit. So let's just take the lowest number. Let's just say it's 20% profit off of 150K. That means 30,000 in profit. And if I make just 10%, but I'm not working in it, I just get a check every year for $3,000 to $5,000. I would say that's okay. Every $3,000 counts. Every $5,000 counts. So we will continue to make money off of it. But honestly, my goal would be to sell it.
Yeah, I like
so that all of us can get a percentage of the sell price. If you make $30,000 to $50,000 in profit for a business, you can sell it for 100 to 150. If you make more in profit, usually the multiple increases based on what you make. And if you are not working in the business, you can get a lot more for your business when you sell it. So there's so many different ways to structure it to make more money. But let's assume we get $150,000 in 12 months. I get my 10% out of 150,000. When we sell it, that's $15,000. And that's just a simple check, right? I just get a check for 15K, and you would get a check for whatever percentage you have earned in these 12 months. And all you have to do is just be part of it, do your part, and then first 90 days, and then we will try to replace ourselves so that we don't work for the next.
So it's really a 12-month commitment. Honestly, it's just that the 90 days are kind of that intensive phase to get everything set up and moving in the right direction so that we can start pulling back. But it is a 12-month program, and but like Delia was saying too, that the hours committed per week, that's really focused in for those 90 days, especially. So good stuff. There was something else. Nope, I already said it. Good. And I don't know if there's any questions. I know there's some delay, but you guys know how to reach us, and you can post questions in the group, post questions here. We'll put a link in the main group and pin it to the top so it's easy to find. We do have a start date on there. I don't know if it's on that page or not. Now that I think about it. I think it might be on just the application. So the application, guys, seriously, it's like a 2-minute thing. It's 5 questions. I think it's 5 questions. They're just yes or no questions. We just want to be clear on what we're asking and set that expectation and make sure that you guys understand what you're committing to. So all of those need to be yeses on those 5 queses, just so you know. It'll still take you to the next thing, even if it's not, but you'll expect a phone call from us if one of those is not a yes, because we need that commitment. The team needs that commitment for this to work. What was it that I had asked for on that page? I went
July. What was the date? July 10th.
Oh yeah. Something? Nope. It was the next one, and it's on another page there. Let me peek at my calendar really quick. I think it's the week of the. We'll start the week of the 16th.
We will have some pre-work for you where you have to answer some questions, prep, right? Because we need to know what you're good at. So we will have a type of a very simple assessment to give you, super simple, but we want you to start thinking about the type of work you want to do for yourself as an entrepreneur. And if we know that, we can build towards it, right? I tell all the employees we have all the time, guys, I don't want you to just work for us. I want you to stick with us for a long, long time. So that can only happen if people identify what they're good at and they work in their zone of genius. Right. And I'm willing to pay all kinds of trainings for our employees. And guess what? Now that they feel comfortable, I kept saying that to them all the time, several times. And now they're starting to actually take leadership, responsibility, ownership of what they're doing. And we're starting to see them making pretty amazing decisions that are benefiting them and benefiting our business. So we need to know who you are, what you're good at, what you might excel in, because we want to build with that in mind. Mm-hmm. Again, it's a collective effort, and we actually build it based on our collective assets, because we have options. We don't have one option. We have options, many.
Yep. Okay, so we've put out the week of July 16th is when we're going to start. That's when those 90 days start. But correct. Leading up to that, we might close the doors a little bit sooner than that, because we do need to do a little bit of work ahead of time. If the sooner you can jump in, the better, and the easier it will be to hit the ground running when we start that first week of July
July 16th. Yeah,
not the first week, but the week of July 16th. So
this might be my ideal scenario. By day 90, when we start taking cash out of this income stream, your payment is more than covered by what we're making. Yes. This would be my ideal situation. I would feel like we have succeeded if that's the case.
Yeah. Right? And if we have enough people, we'll do more than one. We can, or maybe not more than one business, but income streams.
They're income streams. So we'll just call them income streams. So we can do 2 I don't think we can handle more than 3,
No.
but we're open to doing 2 if we have people wanting to do it.
Yeah. So what do you think about additional expenses? The only thing I can think of right off the bat would be if we do a live event, but we can.
Right. If we do a live event, we want to meet in person, then
Yeah.
that would require you to pay your travel expenses. I do not want to build something that would require extra money. So the way I plan on doing it is to use what we have.
Yes.
So we are going to use assets we have.
Yep.
I don't expect any expenses in the first 90 days other than this, because that's the whole goal, right? We're crowdsourcing the effort, and if we need hosting or web design or whatever, I have hosting accounts.
Yep.
I have
Yep.
we can use the assets we have,
Yep.
because again, that's the whole point. What happens when we get people who have different assets together? We can use those assets for our
Leverage.
income
Yep.
stream, right? We leverage what we already have. If
Yep.
someone has space and we're doing a physical product,
Yeah.
again, we can leverage that. If someone has an online asset, we can leverage. I want you to see the power of collaboration as we're building this. And I think it's going to grow beyond our expectations if we're open and we do this together. I want to be shocked at the amount of money we make by day 100. Like, that would be my goal. For us to be shocked at how much profit we were able to make because we had 5 to 7 people working together, leveraging assets we already have. And like I said, we do have a lot of relationships we can leverage. And there's, I don't want to say more because I don't want to have people come back to me in a week and say, well, you said this and that.
Yeah.
We will just leverage the relationships and assets we have. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just gonna say, well, this is what you said, but we'll build the income stream we build. That's why we're not going to say right now, this is what we're going to build, because we want to see what all the assets are. We know what we have, and we can rely heavily on the things that Delia and I bring. But you guys have assets too. And so, and you named a few, Delia, somebody might have space. Somebody might have, they might be a graphic designer or something, who knows? We have no idea. So we want to bring team together. We'll evaluate what you guys have and bring to the table, and we'll create something around all the assets that we have collectively. So we can't say exactly what that income stream is going to be. We've given some direction. We have, there's 3 kind of directions that we want to go. We have lots of, trust me, ideas are not the problem. So what we're looking to do is put in a plan to implement, and then we'll pull from our ideas the best one that fits with the team that we have and the assets that we have. Good question, though. That's good. Cool.
Yeah, those are really good questions. We can probably just add those as FAQs at the bottom of the Google document after this call.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
But I think we covered what this ended up being way longer than I expected it, but we covered the points, and we had some really great questions.
Yep. All right, guys. And if you still have questions, and I know some people are going to watch this on the replay, again, post in the group, ask us. You can private message us, email, whatever. We're happy to help. So thanks. This has been a fun week, and we're going to continue to serve in here and just help you guys however we can. But we wanted to really challenge you. Hopefully you have looked at things a little differently, looked at what's holding you back, been able to overcome that. Yeah.
Hey, Jenny, I was going to say this. You know how I made a public commitment to do the sublimation book?
Yes.
Well, today I figured, let me just reach out to a few people that are going to send me traffic to the book. And by just starting with that question, I share with you all, hey, I had an idea about a possible collaboration. Are you interested? I have one person out of about 7 respond. And let me read the conversation I had with him. So this guy has a group, how many? 65,000 members, I think, all interested in sublimation. So I said, want to hear more about my idea? He's like, hey, sure, let me hear what you got as far as the idea. Mm-hmm. So I said, I'm working on a book, and I'm just going to read. I'm working on a book on sublimation, and I'll publish it on Amazon. I was wondering if you'd want to co-author it, but I do all the work and cover all the costs. Don't want to write a long message you might not care to read, but glad to explain more if interested. He's like, I like the idea, and I'd like to hear more. So then I'm like, okay, awesome. This happened today. I said, and this person has a website where they sell files and accessories for sublimation, people interested in sublimation. So I said, I don't sell files, I don't sell accessories. So the goal is to mention your website in the book whenever it's relevant. We can also send people to your Facebook group if you want. All I ask is that you share the book with your current group and boost that initial traffic to the book. And this leads to more organic traffic, which is my goal. There are a few ways we can do it, but again, I do all the work. I can write a chapter on your behalf. It will come from your business. Or if you want, I can interview you for 30 to 45 minutes and use the transcription to write the chapter. Again, I'll do all the work. I'm an Amazon seller and this is an interesting test for me. If it bombs, oh well, I'll cover all the costs. So there's no risk on your side. He's like, let me think that one through, and I'll get back to you on Monday. And he made a couple more points about why he has to think it through. I'll share with you the response on Monday, but this is 1 out of 7 people. I went to some Facebook groups, and then I went to YouTube channels. And if you go to YouTube channels, I just put sublimation in there, and I saw some videos on sublimation. And then if you click on the channel name, there's an About tab on YouTube. On the About tab, a lot of times people say, if you have business inquiries or whatever information, if you want to reach out, this is my email. Some people had the email, some people didn't. So I emailed 2 people who had their email there and say the same thing. Hey, I had an idea. Are you interested in a collaboration, possible collaboration? Now I did this today. I can let you know next week how this goes. I'm just interested in getting traffic to the book. So I need one partner who has an audience to send me traffic. And then once I have that commitment, I can go to other people and say, hey, we're going to launch this book in 2 weeks, and we're going to send about 20,000 people to the page once we launch it. Are you interested in sponsoring a chapter? Right. So at that point, I can sell my chapter. So that's the plan. And you will get to see if it happens or not, or if I make money out of it or not. And I'll share with you guys in the group.
I love it. Michael asks, how do you plan to split the book money? So what do they get out of it, and how do they?
Yes, so they get new traffic to their Facebook group. They get new traffic to their website because people buy sublimation supplies. So if I make them the preferred vendor that people should go to in case they want supplies, then they're going to get more business out of it without doing nothing. So I don't have to give them anything. But for my first book deal, I'm willing to share the profits off of the book with the person to have an experiment, a test that I can then leverage and do this over and over with other topics, which is the plan for me. Just take all the printing, the different types of printing, and then do a book on each type of printing. And then just build my audience of people interested in these different types of printing, because I have I mean, some of you already know my 7 income streams off of one skill. So it's all related to print on demand. So it's all related to printing. Sublimation is just one type of printing. So for me, it's part of a bigger universe. I'm willing to share half of the profits if they want. I don't expect to make a lot of money off of it. I don't care if I make money off of the book. That's not the intention. I'm building an audience within 2 or 3 days by getting a partner to say, yes, I'm going to share your book, or I'm going to put a link to this book that we're co-authoring. And all of a sudden I have an almost built-in audience. So I'm just doing an experiment and sharing with you, because we talked about it and I wanted to start with something fresh. So you won't be able to say, well, you had this audience before, or you did this before. No, I have nothing. I just reached to people this week, and you get to see what happens over the course of the next 2-3 weeks. And again, it's not something I'm focusing on full time. I just had some time today, and I decided, you know what, I'm just going to take action. I'm going to do something because I want to show you guys It's so much easier than it sounds if we
Mhm.
just take action. Because this is why it's easy. I'm okay if I fail, because it's not a failure. It's actually a lesson learned.
Training.
But if we put all of our hope in this project, or if I were to put all my hope in this project, then yes, not getting someone to say yes would be very painful, and it will probably stop me from doing anything else. But I'm not putting all my future in this book. I'm just doing one simple experiment to
Mm.
start building an audience, because I have so many ideas of what I'm going to do with the audience. Remember what we said yesterday? Out of the 3 elements, right audience, right message, right time. The right audience is the most important
Yes.
thing. So I'm willing to put time into it and effort and not make a lot, because I know on the back end I'll make a lot off of it.
Very cool. Excited to see that. Thanks for sharing that. All right, guys, I'll let you go for your Saturday night. Have a great weekend. Again, if you have questions, reach out. We're excited about this. We are excited to see who we get to team up with, and it's going to be fun. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
Thanks, Delia. Well, I'll see you
Okay.
later.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.